Let me help you embrace who you really are.
Sam, it's great to meet you, even though it's virtual. Man, you've got a lot going on, my friend.
Oh yeah, good to meet you, Dave. And yeah, it's been a busy old time. There goes my phone. For me during COVID. Yeah.
All right. This is going to sound funny, but the very first question is from my mom. We watched this movie together. No, dude, seriously, she is so excited I'm talking with you today. She loves Outlander. She says she is the biggest Outlander fan out there. So she wrote this very first question. This is from Mama Morales. She said, for me to ask you, it seems like your characters like to get beat up. Is that something you enjoy?
Getting beaten up?
Yeah.
I mean, firstly, I'm disappointed that your mom isn't on this Zoom call. It would be, I heard that you do bring her to some press junkets. So next time, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, it's true to say that most of my characters recently have been beaten up. I mean, Jamie Fraser in Outlander does get a right doing most of the time. And, you know, Tom Buckingham goes through hell really to get the love of his life back. So it's fun. You know, I enjoy doing action. It's something that I've done a lot of recently. A lot of the movies I've done have that sort of element. And yeah, I love it. And, you know, the more blood and mud, the better.
Ruby, it's great to see you again. Last time we spoke, we were talking to Meg. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's early. It's an early morning while we're filming this, but I'm energetic and ready to talk about this fantastic movie and so excited to see you. You look amazing. First question off the top. Is it fun to play the villain?
Yeah, it is fun. It is fun. And I haven't really ever played a villain. And it's a different kind of role. You get to have a bit more fun with it. But I still see Grace as a hero also.
You know, there's action-packed movies, but I'm saying that this movie is next level. The fight scenes are incredible. You shoot a lot of this. A lot of the scenes take place on a train. Tell me what it was like as far as making it a different acting experience for you. Was it tight quarters where you all were filming?
Yeah, it was pretty tight quarters. But it was fun in that it made you feel like very much like you were in it. And so we really were in like a channel tunnel kind of thing. But it was good to be able to do the kinds of sequences we did in those small spaces.
I know what the SAS is, part of the British Army. But what I don't know is, and I'm saving this question for you, what is a red notice as it pertains to this film title?
Well, when a red notice is served, it's served by Cobra, the government, to go and do a hard arrest, or depending if it's a soft or a hard arrest, on a particular target. So it's a red notice that's served to the SAS to go and bring in a certain target.
Did you get to train with any military for this? Because it is military themed. I'm learning what the SAS is and all that, part of the British Army. So were you able to train and get ready for this movie by training with military?
Yeah. So I actually came straight from working on Bloodshot, and I'd been in South Africa, and I was working with special forces there, learning a lot of tactical movement and, you know, just drills with various weapons. And then I went to the UK, and we had I was working with Andy McNabb, who is, you know, former SAS, has, you know, extensive experience in that field. And the SAS, you know, for those who don't know, is basically they're like the SEALs, the British ones, but they're probably a bit better. Oh my God, did I say that? They're I have to.
Go right ahead, my friend. Go right ahead.
I'm gonna get so many hate emails now, but that's it. But no, they're just fascinating, you know, to sort of have an insight into that. And Andy worked with me and talked, you know, a lot about, you know, just basic stuff from, you know, tactical movement to clearing out compounds to working, you know, with civilians, as in this situation, you know, on a train. But to be honest, he is really the sort of fountain of knowledge here. You know, he's got all this great experience, and not just the military side, but also the psychopathy side, which was, you know, really interesting to dig into.
Did people get hurt? I mean, because there's a lot of fighting. Your character in particular, Sam Heughan, his character. I take you in the match, by the way. I really do. You are just such a bad blank in this movie. You know the other word. Did people get hurt?
I don't think anyone got hurt. I mean, we all got like little cuts and bruises as you do, and good little war wounds, but no one got incredibly hurt or anything like that. Me and Sam probably hurt each other the most.
And that's why I said that. Tell me about the training though to get ready for this, because it is next level action. So I would imagine there was a lot of training that went into to get ready for this. Am I right?
It was a substantial amount of training and a lot of gun training more so. But I think Sam and I doing our sequences together and rehearsing together made it a lot easier on the day. We knew each other's bodies and weight. But we did a lot, and then we did a lot of training on psychopathy on the sort of psychological side of it.
There is a lot of action. I mean, this is like people say there's action packed, but this is so next level. And I've talked with your castmates, about that. So I ask you, is that something that drew you to this film, this project, was the fact that there is a lot of action in it?
It's always, it's always fun to do action. I always say that action has to be earned. And, if you don't buy the characters and there's just a bunch of action, then I find that quite boring. I think the only reason that action can work is if you really care about the characters in the first place, and they have to drive it. And then it has to be complemented with the action. So the thing that really drew me to it, actually, first and foremost, was the character, because Declan as a character, I found very interesting. He's someone who wants to do the right thing ultimately, but there is problems within the special forces where the guys don't get paid enough. Their work's incredibly hard, and he's provided with an opportunity to make a better life for himself. But he had no idea that in this process he was going to end up having to screw over his best mate, and that's what he is his best mate, and he would never normally want to do that. So that for me was a really interesting morality issue for him as a character. And that's the bit that excited me about playing it. And then when there's a bunch of action on top of that, it's always fun.
Did it feel like tight quarters? A lot of it takes place on a train. And I know you're probably on a set, but was it when you're fighting, you're going back and forth, could you feel that, was it tighter than what you're used to?
Yeah, interestingly, a lot of the movie does take place on the train in very tight, tight surroundings. So it's really great when actually we eventually get out of, the tunnel and we get into the sort of last part of the movie, and you're outdoors, and it just, the whole scope, the whole size of the film does grow and it feels bigger. And I think it was important to have that ending. And I know, the sort of credit sequence ending as well was something we added on at a later stage just to give it more scope and more size. But it's very claustrophobic, and, I'm not great in small, confined places. I'm 6'3" and, a pretty big guy. So, it was pretty tough to shoot most days.
I've talked with you before, as I mentioned. You're a wonderful person. You've got a great spirit. I feel that today. But your character, Grace, there are some facial expressions that you make, that your character makes in this movie. And I'm just curious, what are you channeling? When okay, I see the laugh. What are you channeling when you're making those? I can't even do it. But there are some facial expressions. I'm like, where is she going with this?
I have no idea. I would love to know which ones you mean. I think a lot of the time channeling the psychology, the psychopathy behind it, the way that Andy McNabb explains it best is that everything is like a video game. Everything that he's doing in life, as a psychopath, it's always a game with results kind of thing, and you want to win. So whenever I would have a human emotion or reaction to something, I had to remember it was kind of like you're in a computer game. When you're doing these things. So I think maybe some of it was kind of that. I don't know. My face is weird. It does weird things. Like I couldn't tell you.
I'm extremely jealous because of the cast that you get to work with. I mean, such incredible talent. Sam Heughan, of course, Ruby Rose, Andy Serkis. I've interviewed him a couple of times. Obviously, I've never been in a movie with Andy Serkis, but now you are in a movie with Andy Serkis. Tell me what it was like to work with this cast.
Oh, amazing. We were very fortunate, actually, for majority of the cast. Sam is an excellent leading man. He's become a very, very close friend of mine, mainly through our desire to go and pump our bodies up in the gym together. But Yeah, I think someone like Andy as well, you know, Andy sort of has this unspoken respect that he demands just because of the career he's had, you know, and as soon as he walks on set, there is an element of respect you give him anyway. But he is the most down-to-earth human being you will ever meet. Like, he's the nicest man and makes everyone feel, from the driver that just drove him into the set to the director on set, you know, he is exactly the same with everyone and so down to earth. And when that camera turns on, he like flicks or something, man. He's like, it just goes ding and something changes, and you see it in his eyes. And it's such, when you're acting against him, you suddenly go, where's Andy gone? And you almost fear for your life. He's that intense, you know. But that's what's so good about him. His performances are next level when he's there and you're doing it with him. It's insane. So yeah, man, like a lot of the scenes that I got to do with him, Sam and stuff, you know, we had a brilliant time. And Noel Clark and all the other SAS boys, we created a very, very close bond over that shoot. You know, we all became very good mates, and we're all chat all the time now. I see Noel Clark all the time. So it was a special movie. You get these certain projects that you do where you create these close friends, and this was one of them.
All right, I'm going to close with another mom question. She wants to know, season 6 Outlander, are you filming that now? Are you done? Where are you at with that?
For Mama Morales, it's we are there. We're shooting right now, and I guess we started in January. Obviously, things have been delayed with COVID, but yeah, we're super excited to get it finished and get it back out there for fans. We know it's been quite a wait, but it's going well, and we're so far staying safe. So really happy to be working right now.